Depending on your style of shooting, you might have a lot of work to do in terms of color correction and lighting correction and maybe recomposition in editing, or you might not. So in this stage of editing, that is what comes after we are done with our frequency separation. Whatever needs to be done here is going to be varying from photographer to photographer or from editor to editor, because also our editing workflows vary. There are some of us who color grade before separation, some of us color grade after separation. Some of us do lighting correction before separation, some of us do it after separation. But for my own kind of workflow, I normally do a bit of touch-ups after the FS is done, because even if I had shot raw and I had done my color and light tweaks as I was loading the image on Photoshop, in the course of me doing my frequency separation and mixing and cloning, it is going to change the color properties and light properties. Okay. Because even will not appear in the same skin before, like it was color. So after doing my separation and I'm done mixing, satisfied with the outcome, I can go to the next step, which is normally doing a bit of color and lighting correction and sometimes even so for me to do this, I'm going to make a new copy of whatever I've been working on, and we call that a merged copy. So normally what that is a new layer that is made at the top layer that includes all the layers below it. So for example, I want to make of the FS group, so that in case I need to do anything with the FS group, I can still have the FS group untouched and modified, like just like I've done my separation and my mixing and my clone. I'm going to select the FS layer. So then on my keyboard, I'm going to Ctrl, Alt and E at the same. Okay, Ctrl, Shift, Alt and E. And now you can notice I have a new layer that is called layer 1. A layer that is made by anything that is below it and creating. If I turn off anything back here, layer 1 combined. So that is layer 1. This is the original. This is what I have now. Using what I have now, I'm going to do a bit of lighting and color correction, maybe a bit of cropping. Let me start by cropping, because I feel I have a lot of blue on this side of the photo. So maybe the composition was not nicely balanced at the center. So I'm going to crop this particular photo, but I'm going to crop this particular photo to the original aspect ratio of 2:3, such that in case I need to print this particular photo, I do not have to resize the photo again or crop again to fill up missing areas of the print template. Okay, so I'm going to crop tool, shortcut is C, and now I'm going to click on it and pick the original aspect ratio or 2:3, and now like you can see a bit off the center. It was supposed to be a symmetrical composition, but my center. So because you can see there's more to the left subject than to the right. So what I need to do is I need to get her perfectly centered. So I need to lose part of the image. I'm going to ask myself, do I lose the pixels below or the pixels above? I think I'll rather lose the pixels below. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this side, have her face perfectly centered, and now of the grid lines, the face on the eyelids and just beside her lips. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter like that. Then I've cropped my image with an aspect ratio of the original aspect ratio. After this, I can now do some light and color, and there's several ways of doing this. One of the ways is you can come down and use what you call adjustment layers. For example, you adjust your brightness or your exposure. You can come here and pick this adjustment. Then you can maybe adjust your exposure up or down and things like that. But normally, I prefer doing all my color tweaks one place. And so what I normally do is load the camera raw filter. Okay, remember at the point of us loading, we said if you are going to be shooting raw, by default your images are going to load in the camera raw filter, and we open such a photo, and as after you are done and doing a frequency separation, it is possible for us to manually trigger the camera raw filter and do all our lighting and color changes from within the filter, instead of having several adjustment layers in terms of one for color, one for lighting, one for vibrance, and etc and etc. So what I'm going to do is, with the new layer selected, I'm going to press Ctrl+Shift+A, or that you can go to filter, then pick camera raw filter. The shortcut is Shift Ctrl and A. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open this particular image in the camera raw filter, even though it is not a raw image. Okay, and like I said, in the camera raw filter, if you want to see your before and after, you press Q like that, and now I can see my before on the left and my after on the right. So this image, to be honest, does not need any lighting and color correction, because it is a studio image. I was shooting in a control setup. I had a light, I had a reflector, I had everything right to get this photo right in terms of lighting and composition and color. So among the things I normally do here, just create a balance between my highlights and my shadows, because normally if I'm going to, I normally shoot many of my images using flashes or strobes, and that gives me a bit of highlights, and with that comes a bit of shadows. What I normally do is, I'm going to drop the highlights just a bit. You can see the skin is getting a bit less whitish, or if I can call it that. Then I'm going to raise the shadows a bit, and you can see now the dark part of the images are coming to life a bit. Okay, so you can see parts like here where you had a lot of shadows are becoming a bit brighter. So depending on how you shoot and the kind of look that you want to achieve, there might be a lot for you to do in this particular stage, or very minimal for you to do in this particular stage. For example, for my case, actually this stage for this particular image is optional, and that stems to, if you shoot nicely, remember about shooting for retouch, that topic. If you shoot nicely for retouch, you don't have to do a lot of correction in terms of recomposing or adjusting your color or your lighting in post-production. But in case you maybe want to adjust your colors, the colors are here. In case you want to go to the color mixer, it is down here. In case you want to do a bit of color grading, the scopes are here, but not my my ideal kind of workflow, because normally, let me just be honest, I do not do color grading on my photography or my photos. I normally set my camera to get the right color that I want straight from the camera, by number one, having the right white balance, and number two, customizing my color profile. So for example, I normally shoot with my portraits with the vivid profile, and I add a bit of saturation, I add a bit of contrast to give me this kind of look straight off the camera. So what you have to go do here is going to depend on how you shot, and after you're done making your changes here, just click OK, and once that is done, you're going to have your changes appended to your photo, and now you can now go ahead and save the photo. So I'm going to export the image. I'm going to go to File, then I'm going to go to Export, then I'm going to go to Export As. It's going to give me a new window, this one here. So for the format, I'm going to pick JPEG, of course, because JPEG is the most universal photo quality. Then photo format, sorry. Then I'm going to have a high quality value of 7. Then I'm going to leave the rest as is. I'm not going to mess with the image size, the canvas size. I'm going to leave that as is. Then I'm going to click Export. It's going to open a new window for me. Then I can rename that photo to the original file number, then with edit next to it, and I can save it, and it's going to close that particular window. And now if I load my files, I should have that image somewhere. Open file location. Where is it? Here it is. And now you can see this is the image that I have at the end of it all. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to share this image with your clients to have them get the best quality possible. See you around.